This is my 30-year-old BMW 5 Series, and it started its life looking like this.
Like look, paint came off on my hand from just rubbing it.
But since I absolutely love road trips and camping, I wanted to turn this car into something a little different. Today we are taking my E34 camper to its first camping trip in Belanglo State Forest. So we're attempting to take this car on its first ever long drive in years. So I am praying it doesn't break down. But before we leave, we've got to do a few minor modifications to make this car touring worthy. We now also have Rego on the car, so the car is fully registered and we can legally drive it on historic plates for 60 days a year. Now we also got new tires on the car, so it passed pink slip, which means we had to get rid of the old locking nut that always comes on these cars. So we've got new lug nuts to go on the entire car, which is good. No more locking nut. Because we're probably never going to use the back seats of the car, I'm putting a proper platform and I'm going to mount a fridge slider and the same fridge that's in my Land Cruiser on it, so we can access it at any time when we're camping out the back door. So the idea was to make a stable platform that would level the back seat out so we could put the fridge and the fridge slider on and have it mounted securely in the car. But it didn't really turn out how I'd hoped. So whilst we had finished it and it fit perfectly, it really just added a bit of unnecessary weight to the car, and it was easier just to put the fridge in the back seat and take it out when we go camping. I also added the roof basket that used to be on my Land Cruiser because it looked way too small on that and it suited this car a lot better. Then the final piece of the puzzle was the XTM awning. This thing was super cheap and fit straight onto the roof rails. So now the big question of the day, will the car actually start on the old battery? I hope so. Oh, there we go. Finally bringing this car to life and seeing it turn into what I imagined is one of the most surreal experiences. So we've got the car at Jeremy's. We cannot turn it off because the battery is so dead. It's probably going to die on us tonight. This is really dumb, but risk it. We've got jumper cables, we've got a jumper pack. So as you can see, we're leaving it running. We have to be quick because it's also got no fuel. But now is the scary part. Driving this car a few hundred kilometers to the campsite will be the first long drive I've ever done in this car.
So we are on the road finally, an empty tank of fuel, so we need to fill up. We've got Jeremy in the passenger seat, and let's go.
All right, Shaggers, we're almost there. How far off are we?
We're still about an hour away.
Yeah, 1 hour off being there, Shaggers, all right. We got the gang up in front of us in the van bar.
Apart from the random death wobble we get, it's running all right. It decides to just come out of overdrive occasionally and go into fourth. This is a 4-speed, I'm pretty sure, with an overdrive. Sometimes it just doesn't like staying in overdrive, but apart from that and the wobble, it's running all right.
I'm pretty certain that the wobble that we get at random speeds is due to the car having E39 rims on the E34 and having a different center bore size on the wheels. So that needs to be on our list of things to do before we go on our next road trip. So we've made it to the entrance to Belanglo Road. Somehow the old girl had made it to Belanglo with no problems. So the only thing that stood in front of us and the campsite was one dirt road.
So we made it to Belanglo, as you can see by the footage, and they've fixed up the road a lot, so it's not bad on this.
And as you can tell, we found a pretty neat little campsite and started setting up. In case you're not from Australia, Belanglo State Forest was quite infamous in the early 2000s for having relations to a serial killer called Ivan Milat. But that is a long and tragic story, one of which that makes this camping ground always a little bit eerie. Thankfully today, it is a pretty beautiful spot to set up camp, and it's also one of the last free campgrounds within a reachable distance from where we live. So Rogan's going to show us through his setup currently, his van setup.
Pretty much, yeah. So it's a 2011 Mitsubishi Express. 150,000 Ks on it, clean as. Just start at the front and I may as well twerk the way back. Mine are the mess on the front seat, but it's got these neoprene covers and the seats underneath are like brand new. I got my solar panel in there. It's got a King's solar blanket. It's 240 watts, more than enough power for this.
Fridge is perfect.
Yeah, I got so funny enough, it wasn't meant to be a fridge in the setup. It was meant to be drawers.
Yeah.
A drawer here, but my mate, he's a cabinet maker, struggled to get it in, and then I took it off for whatever dumb reason because I broke one of the rails and I just couldn't get it back. So I was like, nah, this is gonna be a fridge.
That's a really good use of space though.
Yeah, I got 10 beers, 26 snacks, all the food, bottle of Coke.
He brought all the food for today.
Everything's cold. In here I got my tackle box, spare set of boots, all my washing up, camp cooker, my towel minus it's normally filled with like 4 surfboards. I got my boog on that background. Normally I got a board set up there, that's why I got the hangers there. Keep in mind, I'm not a tradesman. I don't claim to be a tradesman.
He's very self-conscious about his drawer.
In here, 1.2 meters. I'll take everything out. And then I got my
table and everything.
Tabletop. My table put a little bit of marble floor tiles just so it's a bit more
looks immaculate.
In here I got my second battery set up. So I drilled through my firewall, just ran
Sorry.
Hey, I'm not trying to
Jeremy's struggling.
He's getting the shit out.
It was just ran the hardest part about this all was probably the cable management, to be honest.
Yeah.
And it's a 120 lithium hour battery with this thing called a bat block. It had just come out when I was looking, and a little display screen that has volts, amps, how long till it's charged, how much is discharging, battery percentage, all in one.
While setting up camp for the night, we realized one fatal mistake that I'd made with the BMW awning. It was too low and we constantly hit our heads on it. This has to be one of the coolest setups we've ever done. We've got the campfire right next to the Beamer. So as you can see, it's a little micro fire at the moment.
Oh, no, that's pretty decent fucking fire to me.
And Rogan's cooking us some snags.
Yep.
Yeah. That was good.
Not bad.
Not bad.
If I fart on it, will it like turbocharge?
No, it'll shit up your
I'm
ass
scared
and blow you
I
up.
shit, bro. I don't want to go to fart and shit all over the fire.
Blow Jeremy's up. Wouldn't be the first time, would it? But despite our picturesque campsite and the beautiful weather, there was still one thing that worried me all night long. Will the BMW start in the morning? Alright, so we're going to attempt to start this thing. Probably not going to start, but I guess we'll find out. That's why you buy a van.
Let's go!
But thankfully the old girl fired straight up. It's just absolutely covered in ash, you can see. We're off. Jeremy's driving the little dirt road out, and this surprisingly started the first go.
It's the best start this has ever had.
Probably one of the best starts it's had, so I'm glad the alternator is actually doing something. Whilst doing this kind of adventure in most cars is absolutely nothing, doing it in a 30-year-old BMW is a whole nother experience. And it goes to show that you don't need a fancy expensive new rig to get out there and have fun. Including the cost of the car, it only costs $4 grand to have this car transformed and set up for camping. And sure, it may not be perfect, but that just adds to the fun.